Hello, my name is Natalie Jones, and welcome to the Nat Jones Show. Hi, my name is Natalie Jones, and welcome to another episode of the Nat Jones Show. And today we have the one, the only, Miss Loretta Blaut.
Hello.
If you don't know her here in the Cincinnati area, she is a 6-time All-American. You tried out for the Olympics in the last Olympic trials, and you were just most recently inducted into the UC Hall of Fame. And that only scratches the surface of everything Loretta has done. So congratulations, and thank you very much for being here.
I can't believe you're talking about me with all of those things. It's just crazy.
Isn't it? And that's not even all of them. So you, and what were you, did you get in the Hall of Fame for? What is your sport of choice?
My sport of choice that kind of chose me is high jump. I'm a high jumper.
Okay.
So track and field.
In track and field, high jump. How does one get in to high jumping? So, because Loretta, if you would stand up, you're 6'2", right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I
wear 6-inch heels every day, so I can be 5'11" and a half.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be 6 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
And so how does, because I would think I don't know, I'm just going to from a distance, oh, that girl is a very pretty, tall, narrow woman. She should be playing volleyball.
Yeah.
She is a perfect candidate for volleyball, for
Fair.
basketball.
Fair.
And she's
That's so true.
high jumper.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a little bit like that. So I played basketball all my life. I was very into basketball. And then one day, the high jump coach at Seton High School on the West Side, which
you're
is where I
West
went. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And I coach now. He was just like, hey, you should come out and high jump for me. You would be a really amazing high jumper. And I was just like, well, all right, let's give it a whirl. I got tricked into doing it, believe it or not. I'd never heard of high jump, didn't know what it was.
And how old were you?
17 years old. Yeah. So that was pretty crazy. It was just a wild story of in that moment, I feel like it was just a God moment. God sent me this person to be like, you should be doing this. And he was like, try it out for a week, because I was doing competitive basketball at the time too. And I tried it out, and we were jumping over boxes and doing fun little things. And it was just so refreshing to try something new and to excel at it very quickly. So I have everything. Bill Redman, if you're watching, he was always like, make sure you give me a shout out wherever you go. And he's the reason that I am a high jumper.
Okay, so Loretta, I have this photo of you. Where can we get? Where do I get? And here we go. Right. No. Turn it this way?
No.
This way.
No, one more.
This way.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Can we see it here? So you were upside down, going over. Where were you? Hold on. I don't want to know. Just tell me what is going through your mind in this.
It's I better get this, or I'm gonna cry. I think it happens so quickly. It's like you see just a flash of light, and you're just like, I pray this isn't the end. And then if you land and you feel the bar fall, whatever. But if it stays, you celebrate. So
you look so calm, and you look like, are you holding your breath? Do you even know how it goes?
Yeah. I think I'm holding my breath there. I have no, there's some jumpers that look effortlessly, they're modeling, and mine are always just my eyebrows are through the roof. I think it helps.
You're trying
I think it helps the arch to arch my eyebrows. But no, that was at nationals. That was a national meet. I think I got 6th at that competition in Oregon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Loretta. There you go, baby girl.
Thank you.
It's a gift from us to you.
I love it.
There you go. This is
beautiful.
A pretty remarkable photo of you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, I love it. Thanks.
Okay, so you are 17 and you start high jumping. You're 6'2". I've read that you can jump your height. Yes. Can you literally jump 6? How do you?
Yeah. How do you measure that? Is that what you're asking?
I mean, is that from the high jump, or from just standing and jumping?
Yeah. No. My vertical is 6'2".
Oh my god.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay, is that what it means? I don't even know.
No. So my best jump ever, my best competition ever, the bar was at 6'2". And I ran and jumped over it. So that is why you can say she can jump 6'2", because the bar was at 6'2".
Gotcha.
Yeah, and they do it in meters, so it's technically 1.88 meters.
Okay.
They get fancy with it.
So how old are you now?
30.
You're 30? Wow.
Just turned 30.
I do love this, Laura. I also had a similar God moment. I graduated college and wanted to be an entrepreneur when I was 25. And I'd started a business, which really meant my uncle made an LLC for me. And like, I didn't know what that was. And me and my friend had these dreams to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I did stand-up comedy. He dared me to do stand-up comedy, and he signed me up for it. And I'd never thought about doing it before. Never thought I was a funny person or whatever. And then I changed my life. And then that night I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to work in entertainment forever. I'm never getting a job in marketing ever.
It scratches that itch, right? You're like, this is what I was made to do. And that's how I feel about high jump is like basketball was fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But track was like, this is what I was made for.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was so comforting. It felt like home right away because like I was a natural because of my physicality. You know, I'm tall, I'm lanky, like I'm springy.
Yeah.
And you're funny, you're hilarious. You have no fear to get up in front to talk to people. So that is why you fell into that as well and just excelled.
Yeah, it was. Isn't it crazy? I love how you said you felt at home like immediately. And do you ever get imposter syndrome? Because sometimes I feel like personally, sometimes when things are so easy and fun and enjoyable for me, I'm like, how am I getting paid for this? This is not. How is this a talent? When I am just being me. Like, this doesn't seem right.
Right. It's such a real thing, especially as women. I do feel like we fall into that category of having imposter syndrome sometimes. And I'm like, people are like, you're a legend. And I'm like, no, I'm Loretta. Like, that's
you're a legend
just
too.
what I do. Like, I'm a high jumper. I love it. And sometimes there were times at the Olympic trials where I'm like, I had unretired. So I pulled a Tom Brady and I retired. I was done. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just give it a try again, because my high school coach was like, you should try again.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know, do I belong here? Am I this washed up college athlete that just like couldn't let it go? And what are people going to think? And I just tried to cast that all aside and just be like, I jumped the marks that it took to get here. Like, I belong here. So that was powerful.
I mean, that's incredibly powerful. I want to talk to you a lot about that. So when you tried out for the Olympics, how old were you?
So I actually went to the trials twice.
Okay.
So once in 2016, when I was like a sophomore.
Okay.
So 20 maybe, 20.
Okay.
Yeah, around that age. And then when I was 28 is when I competed in the Olympic trials back in 2024.
So what is the average age of a Olympic track and field athlete?
Yeah, under 28.
Yeah.
I was the oldest woman in the finals at 28 years old.
Wow, and you made it to the finals. Girl.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, so that was amazing.
All right. So tell me, like, walk me through when you were going to come out of retirement at 28 years old. What were you feeling?
Yeah. So let's see. Rewind even a year before, 27, over the summer in August, I get a text from my old high school coach saying, these are the marks that you need to make to get to Paris for the Olympics. I think you should give it a try.
Your old high school coach.
Yeah, my
not
old
even
high
your
school
college coach. Your
not
high
my
school
college coach. Yeah, my college coach, he probably would have too, because he helped along the way. But my high school coach said, these are the marks. This is what the Worlds is like, a competition that happens in a non-Olympic year. And he's like, these are the marks. I think you should do it. Mind you, I had hamstring surgery in 2020. So I'm like, I feel like I'm broken at this point. Like, how could I ever be that explosive again after this hamstring surgery? So in August, I had known my boyfriend for 6 months at that point. I look at him and I go, I'm going to train for the Olympic trials. And that's in 2024. So I started training, and I mean, it takes a long time to build your body up to like get to a point where you can explode like that. Cause it's like,
because during this off time, you competed in Worlds a couple times before that, right?
Not Worlds is like, I wasn't good enough to make it to Worlds, but I had competed in like nationals and like USA nationals, you know, like at the national level. But I had retired from high jumping, and I was just like coaching. So I was like working out, but not at like a high jump level. Yeah. So I started in August, and I had my former strength coach build a workout plan for me. And I just texted her. I said, hey, I'm going for it in 2024 to the trials, because I knew my abilities. Like,
so and when were the trials?
In June of 2024.
Wow. So I
I had to train for like a year to get my body back up and running. And I trained, and I competed in my first meet in like January of 2024, and that height made it to the Olympic trials. So like my first meet back,
Wow.
I jumped a little over 6'1", and that was like the height, or 6'1", around 6'1", to make it to the Olympic trials.
Okay, so how did that feel?
It was amazing. I was like, I had no expectations going in. I mean, like, truthfully, I didn't even tell a lot of people that I was training again, because I was like, I knew people would be so excited and happy for me. And I was like, well, I don't want to fail, like, and then have to tell all these people. Yeah, disappoint people, disappoint myself, have to tell them, like, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So that first meet was extremely special. My mom, it was in Louisville. So my mom and my dad came, and then my boyfriend came, who had never seen me high jump before. So like, just to get to share that with like the person, your significant other, like, is so special.
Yeah.
And he was there to support me, and everyone was so supportive, and I jumped so well, and we were all so surprised, and it was just like, all right, let's keep going.
As the oldest athlete there, right? You said
at
the oldest
at the trials, I was the oldest woman to make the finals. The finals were like 12 women. So there was like other women that didn't make it to the finals that were older than me.
And so is this a taboo thing for men and women to keep competing into their late 20s?
Oh, that's a good question. I think now there's more opportunity for young athletes, like coming out of college, to support themselves and make money to sustain like a training lifestyle. But I was working full time and then training after work, and then taking vacation to like jump at these meets because they were on Friday.
Yes.
Like, so I was.
Okay. I want to, not to sidetrack too much,
that's okay.
but athletes who are in non-traditional revenue stream, like money supported sports, like track and field, like, even if you are you considered a professional track and field athlete, or
I wasn't.
Is there a level of that?
There is, where you can get like Nike sponsorships, Adidas sponsorships, Puma, Under Armour. Like, you can be an athlete that's under one of those like contracts. It's just hard for high jump because there's not politics, but like, you're a one-trick pony if you're a high jumper. Like, you don't do any other events. Whereas like when you're a sprinter, you can do like the 400, the 200, the 100, the relays. You can just like, you have more exposure. You can, have better results. So, it's rare
you're
for a high jumper.
Juggling a lot. I would say you'd say the majority of these athletes. Like, I'm just thinking, like, I know you because we worked together. That's how I met you.
Yeah.
And immediately, I remember when you got the job, you were like, it's kind of like right out of college for you.
Yes.
A little
so
bit?
You're right, because when I started,
It was before COVID, I think.
It was, and I was still training at that time to make it to the 2020 Olympics. That was before my surgery.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had tried to work part-time at Hubbard in sales, I remember. And it was the perfect role because I could work part-time and then go train. But then when I found out I had to have surgery, that's when I started full-time at Hubbard and put my like track dreams aside.
Oof,
yeah, because I graduated in 2019, so it would have been like, I was like 1 year to live poor.
Yeah.
I can do it. Like, I can live a lifestyle that allows me to train and compete in 2020. And I had my surgery in January of 2020, and then everything.
All right, so let's go back. So I meet you. I don't know what your name is.
Yeah.
But you like walk into the room, or you walk into the building, and I was just like, why the fuck is this girl here? Why is she on the sales? Why does she work at a job in a cubicle? Like, you are obviously not, like, to me, I'm sure that you get this all the time. You're this like amazing ray of light that is just like born for greatness. Not only like your stature, you're taller than everybody else, but I'm just like, look at this girl. You have a secret, you have this aura about you that, to me, that we were like, I was truly dumbfounded. Like, what are you doing working a job? Like, you were just not born to work a job. Like, it was wild.
Yeah. I mean, it takes one to know one.
Okay.
So I echo all of those things right back at you.
Oh, you're kind. Yeah, but I was doing my thing. I was on the mic,
Yeah.
And we did have a chance. I do love this. We were the co-leads of the walking team, or the walking challenge at work. It was like so much fun.
That. It was great.
So managing both has got to be a lot. And now you're working, you have like a normal
Yeah,
job.
corporate America.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even back then, though, when you were still like the dreams of competing, the Olympics were still alive within you. What was it like to kind of live that double life?
It was just like, what can I do so that I can be an athlete for the rest of
Yeah.
my life? Like, I love Hubbard. I love the people that were there.
Yeah, but just
when
jobs in general.
Yeah, when
while
you're an
you-
athlete, you just know the end is coming. Like,
Yeah.
you know that there will be a time when your body cannot compete and it cannot live up to the test that you want it to. So there's always I remember when I was younger, my mom would be like, or not my mom, but just adults in general would be like, I can't do that anymore. Like, I'm too old. I'm too old.
Yeah.
My body can't do that. And I was like, that will never be me.
Yeah,
And then
it doesn't have to be.
but then it hits you and you're like, yeah, I can't do that anymore. So working was good because I finally had a way to support myself, and I knew that I couldn't be an athlete forever. So it's almost just like I had to have that sobering talk with myself of like, eventually this will be my life. And eventually I will have a 401k that I'm contributing to and health insurance through an employer. And I will put that same dedication that I put into athletics into my work so that I'm proud of it and so that I do a good job and so that people can depend on me. And I want to win awards at jobs and, I want to be the best. So it was tough to be like, okay, I'm clocking in from, I think I worked like 8 to 1 when I worked at Hubbard. And then I would go straight up to UC, which was nice because Hubbard was right down the road from the university. So it was okay. It was just like, I knew I wanted to be doing athletics more and high jumping and continuing that or athletic modeling. I'm just like, why can't I do that for a career?
Yeah.
But NIL wasn't really a thing back when I was in college. So I didn't, get that opportunity. So in a long-winded way, it was like, I might have been living a double life, but eventually that athletic part was going to fade anyways. And I had to have like a sobering talk with myself of like, this is how it has to be.
What is that like? You're not the only one. I am genuinely curious as I never played college ball or anything, not even close. But I was like a really competitive athlete when I was younger, and still like getting up and exercising every day and keeping some sort of routine is very important to me.
Right.
And someone who, again, is in a non-traditional sport, how do you make that transition to know that like you dedicated your whole life to this, knowing that it wouldn't be,
long term? It's very short.
Long term and full time jobs.
Yeah.
What is it like to give it up?
I've talked about this a couple times because I graduated and then COVID hit. So it was like a year after I graduated, it was COVID. And it honestly happened at like a decent time to where like I didn't have kids or, my friend and I lived together. So it wasn't like terrible.
Yeah.
But then that was like, okay, athletics is over and done with. And like, I have to move on. Since then, I think it's been harder because like I have had a taste of it again. Like with going back to the trials, people ask me, I'm like, it was the best experience of my entire life. Like just the fact that I went out and did it and I felt like I did it so well and I represented myself so well. So like I really have to compartmentalize those feelings sometimes because it's like I can't get stuck on thinking about those happy moments because I know I will still have happy moments in my life, but they will never be that. They will never be jumping 6'2". They will never be getting a PR.
Well, when you have those really great moments in athleticism, does it make you think, I can do this forever? I can make this work?
Yeah. I think in that moment, you're just like, everything just blacks out and you're just like so happy. But I think a lot of people think that, like, I just saw Serena Williams is coming back. Like, there's a reason why people retire
That's so cool.
and then come back because it's like, this is where our heart is and nothing else that we've been able to find, like, comes close to it.
In high performance, anything, you can get that bug and stay in it.
Right.
I feel like I've tried to give up entertainment so many times just to get a real job, just to get a job that I can depend on.
But
all
why?
The time.
Your body will be able to do this forever.
No, but there are a lot of sacrifices that you make in order to do
That's
it.
true.
So
That's true.
Are there any sacrifices that you've made along the way? Like a lot of them. I mean, you've had to sacrifice a lot in order to compete at the top level in which you do. Do you know anyone else in your life who holds themselves to as high of a standard as you do? And what is it like to get yourself there?
Yeah. I think being around college athletics, most of the time you're around people that do hold themselves to high standards, but you're also in college. Like, you're going out, you're having fun, you're not eating the best because who's going to buy like salmon and broccoli on like a college budget? Let's be real. But then as I became an adult, I know one of my teammates, Annette, she would be a great person to have on the show. She won silver at the Olympics back in 2024.
Wow.
Yeah, she was a thrower, and I know she holds herself to a really high standard. She also works now. She's in business. And I know she does like a great job. She's still continuing on to throw, which is really great to see. And then
Is that shot put then?
she's a weight and hammer. So it's like the shot put that's on like a string. You might not even know.
I don't
They
even...
like hold it like this and then spin around.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I can get you her contact info. She's great. And then I think I'm really lucky to have a partner that really holds himself to a high standard. He gets up every day. He's in medicine, he's a resident, and then he still finds time to like work out and like make time for himself to be like the best person that he can be. So I am surrounded by a lot of people that just do a good job of like maintaining like a high standard for their life, which is helpful.
Are there sacrifices you've had to make along the way that nobody saw that were difficult for you?
I mean, I guess it's just like I think people know the sacrifices college kids make. Like track meets are on the weekends. So, you're gone a lot. You have to prioritize sleep. You have to do homework on the bus or on the plane to like, I really try to be a good student as well.
Yeah.
And so those sacrifices are things that maybe people don't see that aren't in the sport necessarily. And then training again for the trials. I mean, my day would be like work, train, eat, sleep, repeat. It was just things like that. Like it was just like a grind, but I knew it just like meant so much more for me at that time. So I don't really feel like I had to sacrifice anything because like it wasn't a sacrifice to put good food in my body and take extra time to like make a nutritious meal. It wasn't I didn't have to sacrifice vacation time because I would rather be high jumping anyways. So those type of things.
That's when you know then you're doing the right thing.
That's my vacation was like a trip to Eugene, Oregon for the trials, you know. But they don't feel like sacrifices when they're so important.
Well, that being said, now that it's not your full-time life, has the transition, it's been 2 years now, has the transition of it not being, how has that been for you?
Yeah, since it's not like a spotlight or I don't have like the workout plan anymore, for like training and lifting. And I think it's surprising that it's been 2 years, to be honest with you, because it feels just like yesterday that I was doing it. And people still bring it up when they see me. Like, I watched you at the Olympic trials. And I'm like, that's so crazy. That was already like 2 years ago, you know?
It's so cool.
And then with the resurgence of those feelings, because I'm being inducted into Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It like really brought back those emotions that, like I did those things. And even though it's not central to my life, but I coach high school track at Seton.
Yeah.
I'm a high jump coach.
Nice.
So I'm able to like be around the sport still that gave me so much without it being like, I have to perform. I have to be on all the time, because there are like, I would have dreams before competitions where like I forgot my shoes or I was trying to jump in Uggs. Like, it just creeps into your psyche all the time when it's front and center. So it is nice to be like, okay, I don't have to perform at this high level anymore and I can work out for myself. I can do like workout classes that are fun. I can do Pilates. I can do a walk at the park and it's not that pressure. But I think if I had a choice, I would absolutely still be competing.
You talk about pressure, and you, to me, as outsider looking in, you seem very cool, calm, and collected at all times. Is Loretta Blaut, when you're competing, are you cool, calm, and collected?
That is a funny thing because in the beginning of this, I said, like, I feel at home being a high jumper and I know that that's like what I was made to do. And so I've said it where like, I am so confident that this is what I'm supposed to be doing that like nerves really didn't plague me the way that they have with other athletes. I feel super blessed and lucky to say that because I would not get super nervous. At the trials, I was nervous because I was like, this is it. Like, this is, the penultimate of my career. I have to do well here. But I just feel like I was confident and I had people around me to build me up, to say like, you've trained,
So your community.
you've practiced. Yeah. My coach, my college coach, Chris Weinberg, he's great. Our strength and conditioning team there, our head coach, Susan Seaton, like everyone was behind me, supporting me. My parents were like, they didn't really know track getting into it. And bless their hearts, I know. It was like from basketball, like a controlled, warm, dry environment, to like Cincinnati high school track, which is like could be snowing.
Yeah.
You know, my mom was out there with like a sleeping bag, like just wrapped around her. Bless them, like so supportive. But that's how I felt confident that like I can do this, you know? And I will say I had my highest highs in my life and my lowest lows being a high jumper. Like if you perform badly, it's all on you, because you're the only one out there that can control it. Whereas like basketball, you're on a team. Like there's 5 people on the court with you at all times. So you share everything. Whereas in track, you're either like number 1 in your head or last.
So I want to know about that. So you seem to be, like obviously support system is huge, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever think, going into, did you ever think about like, if I don't do this, like what if I fail? What if I fail? What happens then?
Yeah.
What happens then?
It's so common of like people to not want to perform well, because then they feel like if they get up here, like say I jump 6'2", then I don't want to jump 6'2", because now I have to jump better than that to like prove myself.
It's gonna haunt you.
Yeah, because it's like, then what if you don't jump that? People, you know, they always have something to say about your performance, and I'm literally just taking 10 steps and jumping over a bar. So it's pretty cut and dry. You either do well or you don't do well. Like I'm obviously not an alien. Like those thoughts creep in of failure.
Yeah.
Like I am a human being,
Yeah.
as far as you know.
Love you.
Yeah, I am human, and I did have thoughts of doubt.
Yeah.
And I did go through rough patches in my career. It's not like it was all just uphill. You know, not every competition was better. And I really struggled my sophomore year, my first meet after redshirting. I jumped a new PR of 6'1" and a quarter, which my previous PR was like 5'10".
Wow.
So
it's
I
a lot.
PR'd.
It's a big jump.
Yeah, it was huge. And then I really struggled to get back up to that mark after that.
Yeah.
So like shout out to the like mental health team at UC. They had like athletic support therapists there to help you with your performances. So like I'm a huge fan of those people.
That is fascinating to me. So what exactly, how is that therapy like? Keeping it sports focused.
It's very sports focused. So when you go in, obviously like you might have underlying things that are plaguing you. You're in college, you have exams, there's probably boy drama here and there, you know? And so it was basically like you would sit down with the professional, and he worked with a lot of teams in Cincinnati, like high performing individuals. And he just had me make like a highlight reel of like all my best jumps, and I would watch it before competitions.
Wow.
And then he would give me tools to be like, before you jump, I want you to say like, I am going to kill this. Like I am going to get this bar. I'm going to make it. So like a lot of people don't know that a lot of track is mental. I would say like 50, half, I would say is mental. Like
I can imagine.
You got to have a lot of mental toughness to get through it, because you can't go there. You can't say, what if I fail? What if I do poorly? Because then you have a tendency to like just, you know, slide backwards into that. And your mental stability has to be confident. Just like your muscles have to be strong, your brain has to be strong, your thoughts have to be strong.
And so did you learn this in college? Was this new for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like the sports psychiatry part of it. I guess that's the like term. I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even know it was a resource. And now they're even more common, because student athletes do suffer from mental health struggles that normal students might not. They have their normal life things, and then they have sports on top of that, where they're like, you know, in the limelight. They have to perform. Social media has just really propelled it too. It's good. Social media overall is good, but you know, kids are facing a lot of pressure. So I'm glad that there's a lot of help there when you need it. And not that I was, you know, super bad off, but just the like what it did for me, the confidence that it gained. Like, yes,
But-
these are my highlight reels. Like,
Yeah.
I can do this. I am strong enough. And it was really cool. So
That
shout
is
out
really
to
cool.
him.
So do you continue to use those practices throughout your life now?
I use them when I coach my girls and in
Okay.
the high jump at Seton for high school. I tell them, like, you got this bar. Every time before you go, I want you to visualize yourself going over it. And then I want you to tell yourself, like, I can do this.
The power of your voice and manifestation and all of that is so real.
It is. Yeah.
And it's wild. I don't think was this so new to you? Did you guys? I mean, you're from the West Side, so were you raised Catholic as well?
Yes.
I like, as was I. Also from the West Side. This was when I learned this when I was 21 and just like living out of my car and camping on the beach from these hippies.
Love it.
But I was immediately like, this works. How come no one has been doing this? I've been in
Yeah.
church my whole life. No one
I
said any of
know.
this.
It's like
and I just feel
prayer.
bad.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
It's a
different.
little
than that.
different,
It's
but-
it's a little bit different than that. I feel like, did you have a trouble with this? When I started learning all these things, that I felt so vain that I'm just like talking about myself. Did you have any
Yeah.
struggles with that at all?
Talking about myself, like, in my own head.
Yeah. Or
okay.
all right, in general, because mental game you said is huge, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be your biggest champion. And was that ever difficult for you?
When I did badly, yeah. Like, how do
Yeah.
you convince yourself, like, I just jumped this not great height. Like, I know I can get over it. So how do you get out of that, like, rut, I guess? So those were difficult times. Like, there was one time when I no-heighted, which means you do not clear a bar. So you get 3 attempts to clear a bar. And opening height is usually like a pretty easy height to clear. This was the year that I was struggling after I jumped 6'1". The bar was at 5'7". That's what I came in at. That's opening height. And I no-heighted. It was all the way in Arkansas. I never want to go back to Arkansas.
Wow.
And I sat in their baseball arena and I cried for an hour with my mom on the phone because I was like, I'm so bad. Why did I no height at 5'7"? That was a height that I cleared my first year high jumping ever in high school.
Yeah.
And so you get those moments and you realize, like, that's what makes you tougher. It's not like having a meet where you jump well, meet after meet after meet. It's like, okay, I got knocked down. Now, do I just crawl in a hole or do I get back into the gym? Do I start working on things at practice, what was going on with my mentality at that moment? And then, like, those are the moments that get you to those highs are the lows. It's so cliche, but I lived it.
There's a reason why
lived it.
there's a reason why cliches
Yeah.
exist, because they work.
They do.
You know?
They do work, and it's impressive, but it's also like, wow, why did I stink so bad that day? You know, like, looking back, like, what happened? Like, why was that the day I didn't do well? But then you don't ask that when you do well. You don't say, I jumped 6'2" at home at UC on Mother's Day. Like, I jumped my PR. Why did I do that? You know, you don't
Is that
dwell
what
on it.
happened?
Yeah, it was, Mother's Day.
Going back to when you didn't clear it all in Arkansas, after that happened, you're in college. What was your mentality after that?
You know, I think my body just blocked it out because I don't even remember.
Well, I mean, like, that was an opportunity where it could have really hindered you and you could stay stuck in it, or you're like, no, dude, I'm never doing this again.
Right. I mean, I told myself I'd never do it again, and I never did it again. So I think the embarrassment alone, like, scared me to be like, wow. No one cared, by the way. No one cared that I no-heighted except, like, me, and my coach was like, this happens, you know, like, do not beat yourself up about it. The setup was terrible. The men and the women were going at the same time, jumping towards each other. Like, I mean, other people did well. So, you know, my excuse is my excuse. But the setup, if you know track, was just very terrible. So that was my excuse. You give yourself reasons that you can trust, where it's like, oh, not like, maybe I wasn't feeling good or maybe I didn't lift enough weight. It was like, I didn't sleep well the night before. We traveled on a plane all day. These are, like, the truths to it. And then once you can latch onto that, you be like, now I move on to the next.
Well, you talk about trust. How did you learn to trust yourself in athletics?
I played soccer. That was, like, my first passion. I was, like, a pretty fast kid. And sports have just always been a place where I've felt like I've done well. And so I think when you have that positive self-esteem from something in that way of, like, I've always been the tallest kid, realistically. And then when you look at other people doing the sport, you're like, okay, like, I can latch on to this. And even if school or friend groups or whatever aren't going well, I know that this is like a consistent thing in my life. And so I think just over the years, like I slowly just built it up. It wasn't overnight.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I'm confident all the time. I mean, basketball, I got yelled at all the time. Like, it was just like, dang, am I even any good at this sport? Maybe that's why I love track. No one yelled at me when I missed a bar. They were like, go run laps because you missed. So maybe that's why I like track, because I'm just a girl. I don't like being yelled at.
I was really bad at basketball too. We have a lot of
Yeah.
parallels here, Loretta. I'm just going
know,
to
we
consider
do,
myself
we
we are
do.
like the same.
So my next career should be comedy, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So you must have modeled yourself after someone that you thought like, I can do this. Did it all
That's
come
true.
naturally?
I'm trying
You
to think.
say
yeah.
it so easily. It's just like, it's just how I am.
It
Everything's
sounds
fine.
terrible. Like, it sounds bad. Like, I'm just like, I'm the best. I think it's probably just a mix of people.
Yeah.
So like my older brother, he is very tall as well. He's 6'8".
Mm-hmm.
So whatever sport he did, I did. So we both got our soccer cleats at the same time. He's 3 years older than me. So like, or 3 grades older than me. So we would always do similar things. And like, I saw him excelling at basketball, and I was like, well, because he's tall, I'm probably going to be good at basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I've never been a shy kid. I've never shied away from things or been like, no, I can't do that. I've always been the first person to just like jump into something.
Yeah.
So is that confidence like innate, or did my mom and dad just make me feel so comfortable in my life to where like I was willing to give anything a shot? And I think that's like what the root is. Like maybe there wasn't like one person that I looked up to. I think it was good to like follow my brother's lead, and he worked very hard. But I think like at a young age, my parents, they never shamed me or made me feel bad for being this super energetic kid that loved to run around and try all these different sports. And my mom was just really supportive. And I mean, she didn't want me to do high jump, actually. That's a fun fact.
Why not?
She wanted me to stick with basketball. She
Okay.
was like, I don't want this, to interfere with basketball, which is fair. I was like a junior looking to get recruited to play college basketball. So I can see where she was right. But my dad was like, just, give it a shot. And I know she's like so glad that I did. And she's so supportive. But that's just like a funny tidbit. Like the one thing that was like the best thing that I was going to be at. She was like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that? So yeah, I think at a very early age, I think my parents just made me feel really comfortable to go out and be the best at sports, which sometimes like young girls shy away from because they don't want, or they don't want to seem too athletic. But for me, it never was an issue, and I think it was really because of my parents' support.
You know what, Loretta? Same.
Good.
I
Okay.
see. Once again, we're like
Yeah.
pretty much the same. No, but my dad was very competitive,
Okay.
and he always said to me like, "You the woman, beat the boys." He always said, "You the woman." From the time I was a
You
little
the
girl,
woman.
he was like, "You the woman."
You the
And he'd be
woman.
like, "Do this." He'd be like, he always say, "Hit the potato" instead of
Potato.
rock. He'd be like, "Hit the potato."
Oh my God.
Anyway, but he was always like, no matter what, like if I wasn't the MVP of the team, if I wasn't the best, if I wasn't, the shortstop or the first
Right.
batter or the MVP, you know what I mean? He was
Yeah.
just like, you can do this. Why are you not?
Yeah.
Like you can
Apply
you just gotta
yourself.
just keep trying harder,
Right.
keep trying harder, keep trying harder. And I feel like I just do that with everything now. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I do. Because I think going back to being a little kid too, it was like having my brother, I would just play with his friends. So like nothing scared me if I can play with boys that are 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
And I developed like good skills there because
Yeah.
like I was, able to like excel as a young kid because I had him to like push me to be better. And then what was the other thing that you just asked that I trailed off on? I can't even remember now at this point, but
Do you feel like your discipline in athletics
oh.
has overflowed into other parts of your life? Because
Yeah.
I do want to know more about being an athlete, and then also like maintaining a normal life and a real job at the same time.
Sports resonate with me
Mhm.
because I want to be the best.
Yeah.
And when you do a sport, there's a winner and there's a loser. And then when you do track, there's 1 through 8 and then, 9 through 16. So there's lots of room for like to tell how you're doing and like what place you get. So I think in just who I am, I want to be good and I want to
Yeah.
be the best. And I've carried that into relationships, friendships, into work, into school. I was not the best in school,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what brings me joy, is like going out there and doing the best that I can and then being proud of that work. So athletics just happened to work out. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't the best at basketball, and that was okay, but I tried really, really hard. But then when I found track, like I said, like that was just my home. That was where I was meant to be.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be the best. And I told my coach from, I don't know, sophomore year, like I want to win nationals, which is at the college level.
Yeah.
You know, that's my goal. Like I think I can do it. And just, you know, speaking it into existence is important, and trusting yourself. So now that I'm in the workforce, I do feel like being an athlete sets me apart, just because there are things that you don't want to do in athletics and things that, you know, will help you long term, but you don't see those results right away. So like when you start training, like when I started training in August of 23 for my meet in July of 24, I knew that like brick by brick it was coming together. And that's just now, it's not always easy,
Yeah.
but in my job, I just have to be like, these little things that I'm doing now will build the strong house that I want to be. And I want to be that employee that people can count on. And yeah, a coworker that does a good job.
Wow, Loretta.
Do I always succeed?
Gosh, yeah. So let's talk about that. So you haven't won everything you've ever been a part of, and not everything has been a success. How do
Right.
you deal with opportunity? I hate to say failures, but opportunities in which you learn from. And how do you deal with it now, as opposed to how you dealt with it in the
Opportunities
beginning?
and failure. I think I had a lot of success when I first started. So my junior year when I started track, I won every track meet. My senior year, I won every track meet, but I came in second at state. So I lost at
Wow.
the state meet my senior year. And from then on, you know, I was upset. And I think it's okay to be upset. I remember crying. I remember being emotional. And it's just like, that's okay. You can't take the emotion out of it, because we are humans. We're not robots. So we're going to mess up. We're going to fall down. But I think from there, it kind of set the stage of like, okay, I'm going into college. I'm not going to be the best. Like my PR in high school was 5'9". The girl on the track team when I joined, I think her PR was like 6'1". So
Yeah.
I was, you know, I knew there would be work to do, but like I was so happy to have a challenger to push me to be better. Like I was happy to have a female teammate that I could look up to and be like, okay, I need to jump as good as she jumps one day. She had, you know, she was older than me, so
Yeah.
I had time to get there. But I think the failures are just a part of life. Like you're just not always going to have all these successes every day. So I think when you have successes and failures in athletics, it just like, I mean, all kids should be in sports, I think, because you win, you lose, you cope, and then you move on to do something better.
Yeah.
Like if I would have tried to do the 400 meters, like I would not have been as good, because that's
Yeah.
not what my body was made for. So if a kid finds out like, oh, I wanted to do this engineering thing and they're not as good, like they can pivot and be a rock star as like an accountant or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like you have to try one thing. I'm so glad I found high jump like late in life.
Yeah.
Late.
Well, I mean, we were at
17.
17. You said the word cope. So did you learn coping mechanisms, and what are some of the ones that you use so that I can
Coping
learn from you
mechanisms.
of when you do
Gosh, yeah.
like high
Just
performance?
write it
Because,
down and light it on fire.
Loretta, you're making it all sound so easy, and I would think that if I was in your position, or you know, freak out, I'll freak the fuck out
after you
a
fail,
lot.
like after you were to fail.
Well, maybe before and
okay.
after.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things in life where like sometimes I like really fucked it up. Like I did an hour-long comedy special. And I
Congrats.
sold the place out.
Congrats.
We sold out. There was a line out the door.
Oh my
I did
gosh.
an hour long, and it was the least funny I think I've ever been in my life.
You felt like you bombed.
Oh no, I did. I did.
Okay.
And that's okay.
Right.
And I had a healthy relationship. It was as my friend said the next day, they were like, "Thank you, Natalie. There was 20 minutes of funny stuff in there. Everything else sucked. And thank you for disappointing all of us at the same time, because there were hundreds of people in that room and it
Right.
sucked." And I
The
was like,
critics are
"Thanks."
loud.
Yes, but also like it was all like, I mean, it sucked. You're not always good. You're not always, you know.
You're not always on.
And so
Yeah.
it took me a really long time to learn a healthy relationship with being able to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, well, this happened, and how can I get better? And also like keep a healthy attitude about it.
Right. Like you
You
just,
know?
you just answered it. Like that's it. Like you just have to look at the situation. What could I control? What can't I control? my last outdoor meet, I was ranked first in the nation, and I came in, I tied for second. Again, it was my second time placing second, and it hailed in Eugene, Oregon. It hailed.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to compete in the hail? What in the world? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but you could argue like everybody else had to compare.
I'm like
had
trying to
compete in
bob
the hail
and
as
weave
well.
and like just dodge. That was the thing. The girl that won, when she was jumping, it wasn't hailing. So, of course.
Wow,
yeah.
that seems like a thing.
Scars on my heart, let me tell you. Still, all these years later. So did I cope or?
Dude, I can imagine. I still talk about how in college I was the president of the speech and debate team. I say that at least once a day.
Yeah,
probably.
as you should.
Still, because I'm not over it.
Right.
I still love to argue.
As you should.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I want to know that just a little tea. So, have there been athletes along the way? Because are people who are jealous of you and who want to bring you down? And how do you continue to deal with that? And how did you deal? And
yeah, I think. Sorry, hold on. I'm gonna set this down. So it's an individual sport.
mm-hmm.
So I do feel like people try to play a little bit like with your mental state.
Yeah.
And I think there have been times where people have made comments about like
You're being
me
so-
just jumping over a bar.
You're being so nice. You don't have to be that. You're being so
Let's
politically
put them
correct
all
about
on
it.
blast. I will name all of them on this
No,
show.
but you know, like how did
yeah. I mean, it affects you. Like
Yeah.
I remember sharing my dreams of being a national champion, and someone doubted that. Like someone was like, "What? Like that's what you want to be?" And I'm like, "Why are you here if you don't want to be a national champion? Like
Yeah.
even if it doesn't happen, like those are my goals to be the best." And so I try to block out the haters, I mean, everyone has haters, everyone has doubters. Even Taylor Swift, the most wonderful woman in the whole world, has haters. And it's just like when you put yourself in positions to be seen, you're putting yourself in positions to be seen in a negative way, or just like have people want to put you down. And so I think I would just try to just say, they don't know what I deal with on a daily basis. And if they're not going to support me, then try to distance myself from them. And I mean, even just like being a scholarship athlete, like you deal with things where it's like, well, why did you get this scholarship for just being able to like jump over a bar, and then that makes it be like, well, is the thing that I'm doing super cool, or is it just like only a couple of people think it's cool or whatever? So like I don't have to answer to those people because I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame. So their opinions to me at this point, like they're pretty silent in my opinion.
6-time All-American.
Yeah.
You have a pretty healthy relationship with wanting to be the best and being the best. Has it always been? You make it seem so easy. Has it always been? Or do you do you find yourself getting in waves of perfectionism that can sometimes be detrimental to your world?
Like how does it affect you when like the minimum is first place? Like how does that impact you? And when you don't get there, like what does that feel like? And I think it's important to note, like I did cry a lot. Like tears were my cathartic release of just like crying. I've always been an emotional person.
Yeah.
And so in basketball, I was tall, but like that was it was a huge advantage, but I wasn't like Wemby out here just like throwing down buckets and 3-pointers. And so I think my confidence a little bit did take a hit playing basketball because I would not have been able to be recruited at UC, like to play women's basketball at UC. So that's like a good, like people are like, were you good at basketball? And I was like, I wasn't good enough to be at UC. So like that tells you like I was in the right arena being in track and field.
Yeah.
And I do feel like what I just had to tell myself. So like faith is a big part of my life. I was raised Catholic and I, went to Catholic school. And so just knowing that I just have trust and faith that there is a plan bigger than like what I can see. So even if I come up a little bit short, like in the grand scheme of things, like there just is something else already like planned out there for me. And that's why this is happening. So yeah, the lows stink and failing stinks, but just having that faith to like hold on to just know that it's going to be okay. I think really helped me through. Like I'm not over here just like trying to plug Catholicism. Like I just feel like it was nice.
Faith in general.
In general. And it was very comforting just to be like, I have my family. I am more than a high jumper. So
And
that's what I had to keep telling myself.
when you retired, came out of retirement to go to the Olympic trials, were you still a part of that dream? Had that dream or the faith that something greater was happening, had that kind of died a little bit and you had to dip back into it? Or were you still swimming in that river of, this is where I'm supposed to be?
I think it was like, why don't we just give it a try and see what happens? I think that there was a song that really resonated with me at the time. It's called Better Now by Odessa. And it just says, yeah, it's just like, what if I fall? Better to try than nothing at all. And so it was really just, that was like the anthem of my training. I had like a playlist that I would listen to. It was called The Road to the Trials. I still listen to it when I work out. And that song I played every time. And in the beginning, when I would start to train, I would pray at the beginning of each training session, like, God, please let me have a pain-free like training session and let my body get better so that I can be able to jump, like if it's your will, you know? And that was very personal to me. I haven't really shared that with anybody, I don't think. So in the beginning, I did do a lot of that. And just, just knowing that if I did fail, I didn't tell a lot of people, so I wouldn't have to explain myself.
And do you think your faith really kept you alive and well and healthy all these years? It's been a big part of you forever.
Yeah, grounded, I would say. Of just like even in terrible times, there have been tragedies in my family of losing loved ones. And it's like my mom, my dad, it's just like everything happens for a reason. So if I needed to go and have surgery on my hamstring to come back stronger, it took 5 years off. I hadn't competed in 5 years. So it was like, if that's what needed to happen, then that's what needed to happen. And like, that is just like what I believe in my core. And like, that is what faith is to me. Like, it is a very personal feeling. It is very much just like, everything's going to be okay.
Have you met other athletes who share your similar life ethos along the way? Because you don't really. Yes. Okay. I'm just like thinking like, are there other like competitive bitches out there? Like, I'm not trying to get all negative about it, but you would think that like there have to be someone, and you seem so ethereal about it all, which I love.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I think people use it differently, like spirituality or like manifestation, but recently there's a huge push of like God and faith in athletics. Like, I'm like not even touching the surface of like what people do and say. Like, people are like, all glory to God and stuff like that. And if that's what works for them. Cindy McLaughlin, she became very religious during her Olympic competitions and stuff. So as far on the scale, like, I'm not the most out there. Like,
no, but it's very personal
religious.
to you.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be always displayed to be like felt, in my opinion. But that's just that's like my coping is that. So like sometimes maybe I don't want to share because it's like, will that work for you, or will you be like, oh, it's a God thing for her?
No, once again, same. I don't say the word. I don't think I'm. I did go to a Catholic school forever, and I think Catholic taught me a lot about faith and consistency in general. But I'm a very spiritual person, and I feel like it's all been part of the flow of life, that I'm just like, oh, it's happening when you step into it, when it's supposed to happen. You gotta,
Absolutely.
And
why not? Like, why not believe it? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, I believe that everything's going to work out, and then it does. Like, oh my God. Like, it just works out how it's supposed to.
That's an excellent way to put it.
Yeah, what's the worst?
Okay, so tell me, what advice do you have for young women in athletics? And another two-parter, how important are athletics to women?
Okay. Don't put too much pressure on yourself as a young athlete, because I see it all the time. Like, kids are specializing at the age of 12. And what I mean by that is like, they want to do soccer and they do soccer and they specialize in it. They don't try anything else. If that would have happened to me, like at 17, if I would have specialized in, and I was like, basketball was my thing, but I was open to trying other things. And I think that's really important, because like, injury is terrible and overuse injuries are terrible. And when you just do the same sport like season after season, like my one advice tip would just be like, just go out there and try something else. Like just go out, and I know you have your AAU basketball and club volleyball, but just like what would be the worst thing if you tried like another sport? So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Try new things. Like don't just be like, this is what I'm pigeonholing myself into at 12 and this is what I want to do. Obviously that's powerful too, but
It's wild to me to think that that's how people are operating.
yeah, I know, because then you get burnt out. I mean, not everybody, but like it's easy to get burnt out when you're just like
And also,
doing
doesn't
it
that like
year after year.
Well, it's like gonna rob you of your childhood.
I
Like,
know.
don't you want to like play in the creek,
Right.
and ride dirt bikes in
Yeah.
the woods,
Yeah.
and roughhouse with your brothers and go swimming.
I remember,
Yeah.
I feel like I was destined to be a high jumper because we were at my parents' friend's house and they had a pool, and we would stack those like inner tubes up on top of each other, and I would run off the deck and jump over them and land on my back in the pool, and then I'd make it, and we'd add another inner tube, and we ran out of inner tubes. Like there were no more inner tubes left. I cleared them all. So like that's why I know I was destined to be a high jumper.
What a West
And,
Side
like-
kid! I love that story.
Exactly. Yeah, it was in Delhi. So
So I'm from the
Yeah.
West Side as well. So
you know. So that's the first part of like my advice is don't take yourself too seriously, but seriously enough to where you're able to like make a good product of like being confident that you're doing the best that you can do. And then you had a two-parter. Why am
So
I-
athletics and females.
oh,
in
how
general.
important it is.
Yes.
Okay. It is like, I mean, just kids in general, it's so important. And especially for young girls, I think it gives us a lot of confidence to be able to go out there and apply ourselves. So I think there's like a large majority of women who are at the C level in companies that were like former college athletes. Now, not every woman is going to be a college athlete, but sports just gives you that foundation of teamwork
Yeah.
and hard work, dedication. You might not always want to get up and do it, but you go do it because you have to practice. So I think sports, I mean, you can link them to a lot of things like school, school, sports, friends. I've met best friends doing sports. So it is like just, I've lived it. So of course I'm going to be a huge
Well, yeah, that's
driving force, but I don't know if I've ever heard of someone be like, I don't think girls should do sports
yeah.
after 1950.
Yeah.
That kind of like went at bay a little bit. But I don't know. I don't see why there's no reason. I don't see any reason why women shouldn't at least try sports. Young girls. I just think it's such a great environment, and it just teaches you a lot of things about life and living and friends, and it's just amazing.
And now you are coaching.
Yeah.
At your high school. Loretta, we were really carbon copies of each other because I coached at my high school as well.
No way.
Yeah,
Where?
I went
Taylor?
to Ursula. No,
Ursula.
to Ursula.
I didn't know that.
And
Okay.
I played lacrosse in
Okay.
high school, and then I coached lacrosse for a couple years.
Laxbro.
And out of the Chicks with Sticks.
Oh,
Chicks
Chicks
with
with
Sticks.
Sticks.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not in the culture,
Yeah,
clearly.
no, but I've had like 67 jobs. This might be my 67th or 68th. And out of all my jobs, that was my favorite one.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
That is
Are you
amazing.
enjoying it?
Yeah, I love it. I've coached for 5 seasons. I think I just wrapped up my 5th. Maybe 5th. Yeah, 5th at the high school level. And it just is like so refreshing after a work day to just go outside. Like people just really underestimate going outside. Not even the track part. Like the just going outside part is great. And then being around them and like seeing them have such like a curiosity around it. And then sometimes I'll jump in and do a drill and like, I tower over them. Like I just look so much bigger than them. They're teenagers. And just seeing them succeed and do well. Like it really just, it warms my heart. And then I know that I'm not able to compete probably at the level that I would want to anymore. So like to be able to be close to it at least and not like have to shut the door completely on track, like being close to it is important. And like, since it is such a big passion, my heart would be missing something if I wasn't doing something around track. Yeah.
What are some words of advice, or what are some things that you tell the girls?
That they're gonna effing kill it.
Yeah.
We use the effing part, we blur that out.
Yeah.
But I just say like when we get to the meet, they'll be like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm like, you've trained, you've done the work. Like, this is the time to cash the check and get that money, like get over the bar. You can do it. Like, I think they just need some encouragement sometimes to push that doubt away. And hopefully they're like, Loretta believes in me and I can do it. And that's all they'll need is just some encouragement.
And then last but not least, I want to know, so you're about to run your high jump, whatever, right? I don't know how to, right?
What am I about to? Oh, approach.
You're
high
about
jump
to approach.
approach.
Okay,
Yes,
you're about
the
to approach. And what do you tell yourself before you begin your ascent?
That is literally the last thing I say is I am going to fucking kill it.
Hell
and
yeah.
then I kind of give a deep breath and then I go. So let
There
it
you
fly.
go.
Yeah.
Well, I think you just fucking killed it. Congratulations on your induction into the UC Hall of Fame. 6-time All-American Loretta Blaut. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.